Welcome to CrimeMitten. We are your hosts. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Alia.
Every week you'll hear a new true crime story based in Michigan, from the mysterious missing cases to the gruesome murders that left the police struggling to stay on the scene. We're giving you the inside scoop on what's going on in our Mitten state. Tune in every Wednesday for your weekly dose of Michigan true crime. Hi you guys, welcome to spooky season. It's the first true crime case of October, and I feel like that's every true crimer's favorite time of the year, because it's you're already weird,
and now you get to openly be weird, I guess.
Yeah, and everybody's like, let's be weird with you, and then after November 1st, they alright, you back on your own with that.
You know.
So we have our first true crime episode of the month, and it's on Sarah Jane Hart. Alia was telling me a lot about this one, and this is the one that was really
this
over.
Girl.
This is the one that was
explain it. Other than this is very ghetto.
Yeah, so can't wait. I love when they're ghetto.
So there was limited information on this. It was a lot of information, too much, but not enough at the same time.
Makes sense.
It was a 9-piece article, 9-page article, but it didn't have a lot of information.
Just a bunch of you know how you get through your essays and you're I really, 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 really find this interesting. It's super, super duper super.
Yeah. It was just a lot, but so little at the same time.
A lot of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that was it. That was the only thing on this.
Oh.
Everything else was people going to look at the house, but they'll tell a paragraph. And it's technically that's all you need. So it could have passed for a short case, but then it's all of the rest of this information you kind of need it too.
Kind of need it.
But they were telling it so fast. It's wow. Interesting.
How am I gonna make an episode out of this?
Exactly.
I know.
So it's then I found this article and I'm okay, this is
one of the cases that that where I've seen someone do it in 15 and I was just
no, Shelby, this was done in 15 seconds.
Oh God, no.
Because the house is still standing, so it's all of these YouTube videos of people going to look at the house. No, it's all of these YouTube videos of people going to look at the house, and they'll tell a quick story, and then they'll go into the house and spend 15 minutes in the house and 15 seconds on what happened at the house.
Because that's disappointing. I didn't come here to look at a house.
It's I done watched 3 of these videos and I heard the same story all 3 times.
So I'm glad that you were able to do it. It don't seem like nobody's really hitting this one on the nail. But for it to be, you were so excited about it. So let's hear about this information but no information case.
So Sarah Jane Hart, in 1970, she was married to Alonzo Hart Jr. And he was a Korean War vet, and they had a blended family of 6 kids.
Oh.
So
that's cool. Families are fun. They are.
Yeah. So Alonzo had to leave his job for family troubles, and he was between jobs, and then he finally landed a job as he left his job as he was a police officer,
mm-hmm.
or a trooper or something. So he had to quit his job for family troubles, and he ended up becoming a trucker for Wolverine Express in Alma, Michigan.
That's a big career change.
Yeah.
So drastic.
This is when it gets in. This was her second marriage, and she wanted to find a way out. Already.
Okay.
It just gets straight into it because there's no information. I can't even find information on her. When I type in her name, a lady on Twitter pops up. So that's not recent.
It's definitely not recent.
So, Phillip Lippert was her 17-year-old co-worker at the Yellow Jacket Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So, she had an affair with this 17-year-old co-worker. She would while she was working, she would let him use her car, give him money to ride around, go get drugs. She would give him drugs. They would make road trips to Saginaw to buy drugs, and they would get motels during their road trips.
This 17-year-old
was living life.
Like, he was pimping out this cougar.
Literally.
Okay, I mean, I don't think this is what they mean when they be like, I'm gonna go younger. Like,
no.
He's kind of draining.
She was 28 and he was 17, and like, she got 6 kids. Not all hers, but like
you a mother of 6. You signed
you
up.
taking care of 6 kids.
Yeah.
So she decided she wanted Alonzo dead, and she needed to do it quickly before he got laid off from his trucking job because his insurance policy was $18,000. And she needed that money, so she just had to hurry up and kill him, basically.
Was he planning on, like, quitting or something?
I don't know. It just said she knew he was getting laid off soon.
Okay.
So, she wanted Phillip to find the person to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's all for it, but he made up a person. He made up this guy named Eric. Eric was a biker, and he was ready to kill. He was all for it. And he went on with this story for a week before she like, okay, I need some type of proof.
I need to see who Eric is.
I need to see Eric.
You got a message from me?
So he had to like admit like, okay, it's not true, whatever.
I'm Eric.
So he talked to someone else at the Yellow Jacket Cafe who knew her too. And the guy, it said a kid, it doesn't say how old this person was, anything, but whatever. The person was freaked out and like didn't want nothing to do with it. But Sarah was happy because she like, oh, he really is trying to help me out. So at this point she happy whether the person is the import or not. She's just happy to see that he's looking.
He's attempting something.
Right, he's trying.
He cares.
Right. So
it's the little things.
Phillip went to Ithaca High School and they had a new wrestling team. So he joined. So new team, new coach, all of that. So the new assistant coach name was William Pribble. And he knew nothing about wrestling. He was teaching them from textbooks, but he was a war vet as well. So
wait, he's teaching wrestling has textbooks?
Exactly. Never even knew.
Okay.
Where they get textbooks from, I don't know. But he was teaching.
Are they thick?
How much information is in said textbooks?
What's chapter 1 called? I'm sorry, but I'm like, I never heard of a textbook for this before. Okay.
So he's teaching them straight from the textbook, and he's a vet, so he like hyping them up with these war stories about how he killed people, whatever. Whole time he's making these stories up, but
of course, because
Phillip is like, I need somebody. He done killed people before. Somehow gets this man on board. It never says how he gets him on board, but he agrees to it.
How is this 17-year-old doing so much?
How will this 17-year-old go to his teacher and say, hey, I need you to kill somebody for me?
You ready? You down? Like,
and he did. He agreed to do it for $1,500.
That half a stimmy? I mean, I guess if you don't got kids, a stimmy? Okay.
He did it for a stimulus check.
I just feel like personally they wrong because they know they was gonna get $18,000 and they only gave him a stimmy. Okay. That's so silly and so short. Like, you have to be confident you're not gonna get caught to do it that low.
So on November 2nd, Sarah borrowed $100 from the Commercial National Bank in Ithaca for his down payment.
$100 down payment? This sounds like some car dealership. Okay.
No, it's literally what they called it, a down payment, not like the upfront pay. They call it a down payment. So
apparently he a Detroit hairstylist now.
Yeah, security deposit.
Right, do they gotta provide their own weapon? Oh wow, this is funny.
So on November 19th, And on November 19th, Alonzo clocked out at his job after working 9 hours. This man is tired and ready to go home.
Right.
So at 7:19, he clocks out and he get ready for his 20-minute ride home. So Jane is at home, or they called her Jane, Sarah Jane. They call her Jane.
Okay.
So Jane's at home. She packs up the kids. So ain't no witnesses at the house. She packs up all 6 kids. So they can go run errands. So they go down the street to pick up Alonzo's best friend, Marvin Zimmerman. He needed his car worked on and he needed to run some errands too. So they just all went together.
Okay.
So they stopped.
To give like an alibi, probably.
Basically.
Too. Yeah.
So she can say, I don't have anything to do with it. I was with his best friend. Because
that's a little better.
Right. So they stopped at Pete's Standard to get the headlight fixed. They went to Giant Way for Christmas shopping. Okay. And then they picked up his car and went to Standard Station to get the taillight fixed.
Right.
So, after all of this, they stopped back in Ithaca for $2 in gas. Which at the time, gas was only 35 cents a gallon. I had to go back and look it up because I'm like, what did she get?
Right. Like, but that's apparently a full tank. Well, like, wow, how times have changed.
And then Marvin went next door to get some liquor, and then they dropped him off at home. Okay. At 8:15, when they're like up the street from the house, Jane remembered they needed milk and lunch meat at the house. So at this point, she's just looking for reasons to stay out of the house. So they stopped at another store to get the lunch meat. Meanwhile, back at the house, Phillip didn't know he was involved. He was supposed to be involved in the murder. So he was thinking like, William just gonna take care of it himself. He didn't know he had to be involved in the murder. He just knew he had to look for the murderer.
Right.
So
it wasn't in his job description.
It wasn't in his job description to kill the dude or even be involved in that part. But Marvin picked him up from home, picked Phillip up from, or not Marvin, William picked Phillip up from home, and they went to the house. They parked down the street from the house, and then walked to the house, and they each hid on a different side of the garage. So William was armed with a .45 caliber Colt revolver and a steel dumbbell that was 16 inches long. So between 8:30 and 9, Alonzo pulls up to the house, and as he's getting out the car to open the house door, William attacked him. He hit him once with the dumbbell, still heard him making noise, so he hit him a second time, so he didn't hear anything. So obviously now they gone. They left quickly. Sarah pulls back up to the house, and actually Michelle Hart, which is Alonzo's daughter, was the first one to see her dad. She saw his feet, and then getting closer, she saw his hands above his head, and he's like laying on the ground. So she thinks he had a heart attack. So she in the car freaking out. Sarah sees him, backs out the driveway, and goes down the street to call the police. Not checking on him, anything, just go down the street to call the police. Right,
that's all I need to see.
Oh, he out. Cool. Go down the street to call the police.
Okay. Because that's not suspicious. You know you got ulterior motives, but like you could still do the work.
You could pretend you care.
The motions of it.
Nothing. She didn't do none of that.
Okay.
So Trooper Ken Anderson was one of the first officers out to the scene, and it was his job to wait until investigators could come from Lansing to kind of look at things. He said he was there all night, and it was really rainy and windy all night. And he said he knew from the beginning that Sarah was involved some kind of way. He said she was just phony. She would scream and then cry, and then she was angry, and then she was okay. Like her reaction, her emotions.
It just wasn't natural.
It wasn't her. She didn't have any natural reactions. Like it was all just phony. So
people give themselves away so much with their body language. It means so much, like in these situations. Like snap must not have been a thing back then. Like this is all new to y'all. Like
clearly,
if you're gonna do something, play a role.
Keep it going.
Don't just
put forth the effort.
You know, I feel like she was like, alright, I think they would expect me to feel like this. Now I'm mad. Like Okay.
Just be natural.
Just, I don't know.
Right, what do you even do? So, 8:30 the next morning, she goes down to his job to make sure she's still the beneficiary of his insurance.
She like, but another thing though, like...
Right.
Business first.
She make this 20-minute drive to make sure she's still the beneficiary.
Wow.
She ain't go to the funeral home till hours later. She waited it out.
She like, I gotta have something to pay for it.
Right.
Girl.
Girl.
He probably had the cheapest funeral.
Mm-hmm,
If like she's penny pinching it, yeah, like
I bet.
that's so messed up.
So the day of the funeral, his best friend Marvin started getting suspicious phone calls. One of the phone calls said, "You're gonna get the same thing Al got." Another one said, "Your time is getting closer."
So now they're harassing his best friend.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's like, what did he do? I really
What did he do?
I'm your alibi.
He just wanted to roast me. He just needed his car fixed. That's all
I don't
he
even
wanted.
know this dude like this.
All he needed was his car fixed.
That's all.
So, the first suspect was... My notes are funny. So, Sarah's first boyfriend, Frederick Rundell. So, they had been divorced for 10 years at this point, and she was 28. This just hit me. And they had been divorced for 10 years.
So she was 18 when she got married?
When she got divorced.
Oh, wait, so like, but you have... Their parents must let them get married or something, because I can't...
It literally said they had been divorced for 10 years.
Yeah, because I'm like, you... Okay. Well, yeah, we're not from this time.
Right. So they had
Stop it for us to understand this.
They had been divorced for 10 years, and they got divorced right after he got sentenced 3 years in prison. So she left him in.
She was like, "Oh, I can't hold nobody down."
That meme, it was like, "How long can you hold a nigga down when he get locked up?" It was like, as soon as they put them handcuffs on.
As soon as they hit the gavel like this.
As soon as he tapped the top of the hood of the
like,
car.
"Hey, I'll see you."
As soon as the officer said hit the hood of the car and say, "Sit tight, I'm gone." That was Sarah.
She was like, "Oh, I can't do this.
I can't do this."
Wow. We see how she loves.
Right. So, they looked at him. He served 3 years. The police looked at him because he had a lengthy arrest record. He was their first suspect because he's just been in prison for so long.
Yeah, he's hardcore time. But, I mean, to him, it's definitely a long time, but like...
Right. But like,
it's not gonna knock him, but...
he just has such a...
Don't be throwing extra salt on my stuff like it's so long
so
and stuff.
wrong.
Now everybody think that I'm just out here bad and all I did was...
3 years, not too much. So, he had been paroled from Jackson Prison for 15 months before the murder. So, yeah, he probably just trying to get his life together, ain't thinking about this girl.
Oh.
And...
Her or the kids.
And he's a suspect.
I'd be so mad. I would. Because I'm just trying to live my life. She left me. How y'all mad about something that she did?
She left me.
Like, it's tough out here for people. Alright.
So, the second suspect was an Ithaca man that she had been getting letters from through a secret P.O. box that she had. So the dude, they never said his name, but he was willing to like turn in the letters to the police. Like, look, I ain't got nothing to do with this. And one of the letters that she sent to him was talking about how her and her husband was getting a divorce.
So wait,
Wasn't no divorce.
why did you marry this man if you cheating on him so much? Like, you got a 17-year-old, you got a P.O. Box bae, like, she got young bae, P.O. Box bae, like...
Oh, that's another one.
Ex-con bae. Because they just gonna throw him in for free.
They gonna throw him in. But yeah, so This dude passed the polygraph and they ruled him out. So the third suspect was... Oh, and not only was she talking to the 17-year-old, she started talking to the teacher, the coach. Telling him, like, once her husband gone, they can be together. Meanwhile, you're telling this 17-year-old you're killing your husband for him.
Wait, so Young Bay, ex-con Bay, P.O. Box Bay, and WWE Bay.
Mr. SmackDown versus Raw. This
case shouldn't be this funny.
I told you it was a good time.
You know what? Also, we're recording early, so I don't know if
it's just the fact that we're sleepy.
This is what deprived sleep do. Oh, wow.
So, the third suspect was a man who was working in Lansing, and she was like messing around with him while he was separated from his wife, and he like telling him like, "This, I ain't got nothing to do with this." So they ruled him out too after he passed.
I just want my family.
I'm just trying to connect my family. Y'all bringing up old stuff. I don't even talk to her no more.
I was here for a good time, a long
Not
time.
a long time. This was an in and out type of thing.
Okay.
So, let's say they ruled him out too after he passed the polygraph.
Mm-hmm.
So Phillip and William were the next suspects. They didn't fight it. They just pleaded guilty, and so I mean they were sentenced only 22 days after they got arrested. They just like, yeah, I did it.
I did that. You know what? That's all we asked for. I think in like the last episode I said that, like,
just
accountability,
admit it.
you know?
Just admit to it.
You already did it. They didn't worked up an investigation. You got your tax money word. Just be like, all right, y'all won.
I ain't had the strength to fight this.
I know my county broke, so I know y'all don't got the money to fight this either, so let me make it easy on you. So that was considerate.
In 1969, the year before, Sarah and Alonzo had gone to Florida for his dad's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
So they became friends with the funeral director, and Michigan investigators wrote to Florida police saying that Sarah may have tried to entice the funeral director or the mortician, as well as a Florida mayor, to visit her after what did she say? After her husband was killed. She was gonna come back and visit them, or they needed to visit her after her husband was killed.
For what?
Cause she wasn't meant for she wasn't meant for marriage.
This is, yeah.
Monogamy is not her thing.
Apparently. I mean, and guess what? That's okay.
That's okay. Just, live your...
You don't gotta off the husband, though. Like,
you don't. Just let him know that's not what you... But she needed the money.
Yeah, but gosh. Like, alimony. Like,
it wasn't gonna be enough. He was about to lose his job.
Get another one. He has experience as a trooper. She like, this is the last job he'll ever hold.
She had to get it while I was there.
Okay.
So the same day that Phillip and William pleaded guilty, Sarah said she lost her memory. she was in court. She ain't know nothing.
Wait a second. So, from what? What did you lose your memory from? Something has normally happened.
No, she had no clue what happened that night. She didn't remember anything. So
okay. Cool.
So they sent her for a psychological exam, and then sent her to a mental institution. So 3 months later, she was back in court. Still nothing. She don't know what happened.
I just really don't know. It's all a blur.
So she was found incompetent to stand trial. 2 years later, in October of 1972, the Gratiot County probate judge John McCullen found her mentally ill. In July, in that same year of 1972, a preliminary exam in Ithaca preliminary examination in Ithaca was put off because Philip and William wouldn't testify against her. So
she got some Erykah Badu. That's what I'm getting from this, cause like, turn that woman in.
So she got sent back to the hospital under a new mental illness order. So under a new murder warrant, new warrant for murder, the circuit judge Lou Corkin realized that Sarah in November, or in her so under a new arrest warrant for murder, circuit judge Lou Corkin released Sarah in November, ruling that the sworn testimony didn't justify the charge because they didn't testify.
Great.
So 1 week later, under a new warrant from the Ithaca District Court judge was released, and she was missing. Just gone. Nobody could find her. Sarah
in the hospital.
No, she was released at this point.
Oh, okay. Because
they didn't
Keep her,
testify.
yeah.
Right. So Sarah Jane Gardner is her new name now because she now has a common law husband, Donald Hugh Gardner, who she met because they were both getting treated together in the hospital. And he was serving time for robbery. They think that he robbed the bank to get hit money put on Phillip, to get hit put out on Phillip.
What?
So, because he was scared to testify, so they were like, he gonna do it eventually, so they was trying to off him too, so he couldn't tell.
Wow. Okay.
So, search attempts, like, he was getting death threats in prison, like letters and everything.
What?
So, search attempts heightened to find her by 1975, so now they really looking for her.
Because you're not going to escape, you're going to escape and cause chaos. Okay.
So in January, a federal fugitive warrant was issued, and a photo was given to her in like all the police stations of her was given to all the police stations in the area. Report sightings were in Isabella County. There were report sightings in Isabella County, Detroit, and Alma. They thought she had a daughter getting married in like Forest Hill, Michigan. So they figured she like came back for the wedding and then was at all of these places. She was like at a bar, motel, somewhere else. Like she was just out here living life.
She like new last name, who this?
Literally. So at this point, that's when letters from Texas are getting sent to Phil from prison. So they, of course, they suspect her. And then another letter was sent to him in March. And so it was a typed letter, so they checked for fingerprints for her new husband, from William, and from Sarah herself.
Right.
And it was basically saying like if he testified, he was going to an early grave. So
you want to just add more to your rap.
More.
First off, if they catch her, you are clearly competent to stand trial.
If you can do all of this,
you're doing a lot.
All of this.
You're already common law and married.
Already.
You're accepting the last name, so you know what you're doing.
I've been only dead for 2 years.
Like the grave is still fresh. But the thing is, the only thing I feel like is okay about that whole you got a new husband is the fact that she met him where they was both getting treatment. So you both know, like, it's not another victim. He kind of knows what he's signing up for at this point.
Right, he know what he's doing.
You made it here. I made it here.
Do you think that's suspicious? But anyway. Mind you, she's married at this point. But they contact Florida again, like Michigan investigators contact Florida investigators again because they like, we think she down there dating y'all mayor. So she a mayor of some city. She with one of these mayors. This mayor told her once she gets rid of her husband, come back and he'll take care of her. So he like, she down there somewhere. Yes, she married up here, but she down there dating your mayor.
She's down there dating a whole public official.
She down there with somebody's mayor.
Wow. She's like, do they consider them first ladies and stuff? Like, she's
right.
Y'all got this woman in office.
Oh, okay, so this is the point where her daughter's getting married. So her daughter is getting married, and she's seen at a dress shop, at the bar, and a motel. But she's still missing by the end of 75. This is in April 75. By the end of 75, she's still missing. So at this point, Phillip like, all right, I'm tired of sitting in prison. I ain't kill him. Like, I did what I did, but I ain't kill him.
But I didn't do it.
So the judge set up him a new hearing. But this is like in the beginning of 75. And it would be a jury case this time. Sarah hears about it and she come back for trial. All of a sudden, she not missing no more. She come back for trial. So this pushes Phillip's trial back. Because they got to get to her first. They've been looking for her for years.
Yeah, they like, we can't trust her.
It get to the point this man still will not testify against her. So her case was completely thrown out and she's never served prison time.
What?
And that's literally how it ends. She's never served prison time. That's it. He still would testify against her to save his life. He the one who wanted to get out and still wouldn't. What did she do?
Scary? Do we have a picture of her?
No, I could not find anything.
I gotta see her. Like, is she like a big like? What's the name of that lady from off of Matilda, the principal? Is she like her? Like, or is this somebody like our size, small, like that's doing all this damage? Because like little people are scary too. But like,
what is she doing to them?
What? You know what? She. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Like, what? Like, she not only she sent y'all on the goose chase to find her, showing that like, I don't know. I really feel like I would have been just preaching at everything as like the prosecutor because you told us you were incompetent. You get out. You do all this competent stuff. We get you back here. You still scaring him.
Still
scaring this grown man that's been in prison. He was like, look, prison is safer than her.
Than her.
And then the thing is, you hired the hitman, so it's not like you know she has connections.
Exactly. She don't know nobody. You hired him.
You did it.
You hired him.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just grab this book.
Where do you even go?
That's what. The fact that we do older cases, it really frustrates. I gotta remember, like, okay, the system isn't all the way there yet. Like, a lot of our newer cases is a lot better, but like, them old ones.
Ridiculous. What y'all doing?
I don't know. Okay, I'm just tell me when to stop.
Right there.
Okay, tell me when to stop again.
Right there.
Alright, let's see. I think this one is good for everything that's going on in the news right now. But that's not really what it was today. Like, I don't really care about it. Okay. What celebrity makes you want to scream in a bad way? And that's question 735.
Which one was that? From she with Ashton Kutcher. And they said they don't wash the kids till they look dirty.
Mila Kunis.
Mila, I think yeah. And she said they don't wash the kids till they show that they dirty. Meanwhile, Kanan get bathed every night.
Sometimes twice. Don't let it be a blowout. Like, if he had 3 blowouts, he took 3 baths that day. I don't care. You gotta dunk that boy in water. Then, like, he likes to just roll in dirt. No, we don't do bad days. No, forget that. I wish I would, like bring him over.
I don't know why was that the first thing that came to my mind, but it was like, that really just upset me. Like,
you know what? I think that's funny because they got the Cheeto commercial with the, like, messy figures and stuff. So, you know, they probably being endorsed by them. It's probably Cheeto crust everywhere.
Them kids eating Cheeto puffs and just wiping it.
Okay. Let me see. What celebrity really makes me scream in a bad way?
I don't even think it made me scream. It's just like,
just
what?
Like, what?
Like, I can't even I don't know, why was that the first thing that popped in my head? It's like, y'all do that for real?
You know what? I think, I don't want to say like the obvious answer to me, but like,
right.
I really want to say it's R. Kelly that makes me want to scream. And only for the fact is, like, the whole situation made me want to scream. Like, not just at him, but at, like, my parents' generation. Everybody. Like, the whole situation regarding him makes me want to scream. So, do that count?
That and everybody who's against him but defending Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he was like, I'm going to stick beside him, but like, stick beside him in silence.
Look at the screen.
That's mine. And I'm going to stick beside him.
And that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm going to stick beside him.
Don't tell us you sticking beside him.
I don't like how you kind of stick it beside him. It don't seem right. Like, and the thing is, Nicki has so many good values for herself, and then like nowadays it's kind of like you shot This is career suicide.
You married somebody on the sex offenders list, and you mad at everybody else because they pointing it out.
Right, you just got heat down for your brother.
Yes, and it's like you defended your brother, and again. Stick beside him, but don't tell us you sticking beside him.
You don't gotta do it publicly.
So you're just okay with it, and it's like you have a child.
Yeah, and just because it's not a little girl, don't mean
nothing.
Like,
just because you have a son doesn't mean a thing. They don't care.
They don't. No, little boys are getting sex trafficked just as much as little girls are, if not more, because it's least expected.
Exactly.
So like, that's definitely frustrating.
Mad at R. Kelly, but y'all. Like, again, if you gonna stick beside him, stick beside him. But don't tell us he's sticking beside him.
That's it. I think that's really what it is. And I just think that, like, I don't know. I think that's mainly what it is. He's just the audacity for me.
And they were like, her fans was already mad because they hated him because he didn't have a job. He came out of nowhere. He on the sex offenders list. But now y'all harassing this lady because she came out with her story. Y'all harassing her, sending her death threats. What is the point?
Why are you doing that to her?
He did it. Like,
it's not like she didn't do it.
If Nicki wasn't his wife, she wouldn't be doing this. Because Nicki wouldn't be trying to pay her off.
Yeah,
there would be nobody trying to pay her off. And his other wife wouldn't have the money to try to pay her off. So he would just be in prison. Y'all wouldn't even know about him.
This would be irrelevant.
Extremely irrelevant. He would have just been in prison. Didn't nobody tell him not to register for his new house? Like, all this man had to do was register for the new home he was in, his new city. Let them know, like, hey, I'm here. But he did. Now he gotta serve prison time, and y'all mad at the lady?
It's not her fault.
It's not her fault.
It's his. It was your responsibility.
It was your responsibility to put your name on that list once you move.
When you move, you know what you're supposed to do.
And now everybody knows. And now y'all mad at this lady. She ain't do nothing.
And I think that's
let her live her life. Yeah, she came out with the story because y'all harassing her.
Harassing the heck out of her over it. So it's like, what do you want me to do? Like, maybe I'm thinking, okay, if I go public about this, if something happens to me, I said my piece. Y'all know what to look into.
Right.
You're not taking into that consideration at all. Like, this is like when we make those posts to be like, hey, if anything happens to me, I didn't just leave.
I didn't leave.
Trust me, I'm well grounded.
What am I leave for?
So no, I think they stress me out. And that's definitely another one. I didn't think that deep into Nicki like that. It stresses me out. It makes me scream when I was hearing about it, but it was just like,
you just let it go. So then like I wasn't a stand in the first place. So it's just like something you just
like, I guess. That's how y'all do. But no, so that one was a good one. They actually got a discussion out of us.
Right.
That was a good one. So, we hope you guys liked that episode. We hope he made you laugh because we laughed. And
it's early. We've never recorded this early before.
Even before when it was podcast days, it was never this early.
Our time for the studio was 11.
It's 9:25, so.
And I've been up since 5:15. Shelby's been up since 4.
4:20 to be exact.
We were supposed to start recording a lot earlier, but setup time takes a lot.
It takes so much.
But yeah, so thank you guys for listening.
And tell us what you think about this Sarah Jane. Like, do you feel like Do you think she was competent? Because I very much think that she was. I think she was okay. Do you think that she was a sugar mama? Because I very much think that she was.
At 28.
Right. She was a splendid mama. She like, you gotta
full on sugar.
She said, you gotta help me get this money to spend on you.
You gotta help me get the money. And I spend it all on you. And whoever else I'm with at the time.
But yeah, so we hope you guys like that. And we will see you back for our either Discovering Michigan. Yep. So hopefully you guys liked it. Because I'm sleepy. Alright. Bye guys.
Thank you for listening to Crime in a Minute. You can find the transcripts, pictures we've discussed, as well as the links to our references at our website. There, you can also find the links to all of our social media. If you have a case you'd like us to talk about, you can leave a comment down below or go to the Contact Us page of the website and leave a suggestion. Each month, we will choose one for an episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps a lot.